Messy peripheries are the result of a step-by-step building actions scattered in the time. Public spaces were and are in charge of the municipalities. The private owners haven't social obligation for public spaces, only to fill the rules decided by the municipalities in relation to the aesthetics, dimension and so on. A specific aspect of the corruption bribery system in the real estate realm was pointed to get favorable rules by politicians and or having a light favorable attitude within the supervision of the respect of the rule, or avoiding totally any supervision. Even within a substantial respect of the municipality rules, since the 1960s, the periphery of Milan became more and more messy, with the spaces built according to the real estate speculation. Since the end of the 1970s, the low-income people were obliged to go out the Milan city limits for getting flats or houses at an affordable rent or purchase, provoking a dramatic increase of the use of the space in the surroundings of Milan. But the land use system remained the same, so also within the small municipalities surrounding Milan it happened the same dynamics. The expansion of the city went along the main connecting roads to and from Milan, with mainly commercial and production purposes, and then also residential. Aesthetically, those axes of connection have the same aspect, with a mix of shopping malls, production sites, sometimes with big exposition of the merchandise, and residential buildings trying to use at the maximum the surface. Once you use all the available space along the main road, the territory has been occupied by the construction of a series of parallel roads with the same mix, organized as blocks, residential, production, etc., also thanks a more conscious planned development of the town made by the municipalities, even if often too late. The public spaces for social purposes could be carved out only in the marginal areas and or in the interstices, because the cost of the expropriation for public use was and still is too high for a municipality. And overall expropriation for public use is conceptually against the dominant idea of the private property as one of the main bases of the economy and the society. Because of the lack of space and money, sometimes the municipalities had only the possibility to reshape aesthetically public squares. In these messy peripheries, the street art and the mural graffiti were examples of the autonomous and often illegal effort of reuse and reinterpreting creatively the fixed space, built according to a different logic. So the unplanned physical shape of the peripheries due to the private real estate interest is the concrete cage for reusing socially the urban spaces. In this situation, the Western process of industrial or relocation, the decrease of the industrial production, producing empty industrial building, could be a creative opportunity for a socialized reuse of the space. But the legal, administrative and also mental obstacles are many. The case of the closure in 2012 of RiMaflow factory, renamed RiMaflow by the workers, in Trezzano sul Naviglio, south of Milan, could be an interesting example. The workers occupied the RiMaflow and decided to self-organize the use of the inner spaces in order to try to guarantee a salary and also to search economic and social support by and links with external forces, the municipality, unions, association, ordinary people. RiMaflow had the goal to transform a space where the previous separation walls of the plant are physically still present but no more socially dividing. Since the beginning, the experience took the shape of a prefigurative social action with the aim to connect and entangle the economic activities with the local community, offering services and asking support and participation through different initiatives. Visits by the pupils of the local ground school, internal meal services, spaces for local archives, visits by the pupils of the local ground school, internal meal services, spaces for local artisans, repairing furniture, mobile phones, computers, artist productions, offices for small societies, rooms and spaces for assemblies and conferences, storage boxes, parking for campers, dogs training in the outer space, music recording studio, links with self-managed cooperative association and entities in the field of agricultural, artisan and services production, local and not only, links with local GIS Solidarity Purchasing Group. But this experience is conflicting with both the legal asset of the capitalist society and the self-caging mental attitude by the society which accept the spatial caging of the capitalistic logic. Within the dynamics starting from January 2013, many actors were involved. First, private owner interest. In the specific case Unicredit Bank, the second of Italy, which after the financial collapse of RiMaflow in 2012 started a legal action for getting the eviction of the occupying workers, even if many surrounding factories were closed and abandoned. Second, different attitude by the municipal council in relation to the political orientation of the mayor and his or her majority, with the paradox that the main problems came from the center-left administration. Third, attitude by the state authority regarding the illegality of the occupation of the plant, i.e. prosecution and imprisonment for months of the official responsible of the managing association for illegal recycling of waste, i.e. recovery of wallpaper production waste, separation of materials and recovery of paper and plastic. The final solution, meaningfully working from the 1st May 2019, takes 6 years to come. Negotiation between the property and the workers' association through the facilitation of the prefect of Milan, thanks to his different approach to the concept of legality in comparison to the predecessor. agreement for a pacific deoccupy of the factory within few months, purchasing in a public sale one of the two previous RiMaflow buildings within the same municipality. The building is more new. Some of the workers in this detached seat were involved in the RiMaflow experience, and there were already solar panels on the roof. Got financial support by public and private foundations and associations as members with RiMaflow of a new consortium for the purchase of the building as a collective property. Moving in the new space, keeping the political aims of the social practices in progress, for getting a legal status of a new legal cooperative entity able and officially allowed to manage different kinds of activities. This, of course, is a compromise. So-called revolutionary activists could criticize the result, which is certainly a compromise. But the disparity of the forces in the field is strong, and this normalization means to accept and in some way also suffer the legal capitalist context of society in order to preserve an alternative bottom-up experience. It means moving from a temporary to a stable autonomous zones, dealing with the challenge to survive. The new location has less space than the previous one, only 1/3 of the space. So, for example, the camper parking and the dogs training are no more possible, cutting a stable income with practical no managing expenses. Legally, the dynamics of RiMaflow seems to be solved, but the physical, spatial caging of the disordered peripheries is still working, because the map is not the territory. The distance from the main road moved from 300 meters to 1 kilometer. Between the main road and the new location there are few blocks of individual villas, usually inhabited by people politically not sympathetic with social experience like occupied fabrics or socialist aims. There is a bus connection with the center of the town, but the location remains physically and mentally marginal, being made by villas, industrial buildings, few commercial activities, few residential buildings. The challenges of the new location were: if the new location still remains accessible and comfortable for the people in order to maintain the social connections established in the previous location. If the socio-physical links to be activated are going to be more or less relevant in supporting the experience. If the economic charge of the loan refund could be economically sustainable. The results are: the main initial goal in 2013 was to obtain a job that was not illegal but with a stable contract for those who no longer had prospect and were fired. A goal achieved today, October 2022, for about 70 people. According to the opinion of one of the organizers, the relocation has not been an obstacle for the keeping of the previous links net. The RiMaflow cooperative has been able to be creative, to start new initiatives, some with good results, others not, to activate new productive collaborations and to resist the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID pandemic was a severe blow, but it did not kill the experience. However, the forced closure has limited social relations. For example, the idea of using the canteen also as a social restaurant had to deal with the closures imposed to limit the contagion. In 2020, with the catering activities closed and the events cancelled, losses of thousands and thousands of euros were estimated, and the workers in rotation benefited from the unemployment benefits. The answer to the challenges of the change of location and COVID-19 and the current prospect for the future are as follows. The new named association Fuori Mercato Rights, Dignity, Self-Management, today also associated with the leftist RSI Club Net, involves the RiMaflow Fuori Mercato cooperative oriented towards the food sector, distribution of products from the Fuori Mercato supply chain and catering. The Catena in Movimento, Chain in Motion, cooperative with textile production, t-shirts, bags, serigraph, etc. A SRL Society for the production and distribution of Solidarity liqueurs, Partisan Amaro, Kollontai vodka, Worker Sambuca, a company in the process of being formally established for contracted and service activities, and then the citadel of the other economy with its artisan shops, collaboration with the warehouse in the area, etc. The supply to about half of the GIS Solidarity Purchase Group in Milan, collaboration with the on-site warehouses of the Chico Mendes Association of an NGO and others. Finally, from July 2022, the launch of the social loan for the renovation of a part of a building and the front garden with the aim of making it a canteen for the companies around and a restaurant open to everyone in the evening and for social events. What emerges is the continuity of the approach of rethinking the internal and external spaces shown in the old site. The practice of relating with association and self-managed productive realities, contacts with the GIS Solidarity Purchase Group. The choice of connecting to network of similar solidarity initiatives such as that of Fuori Mercato have proved to be fundamental and successful even in a situation of pandemic. There was the ability to imagine space, a basic space in a network of physical and human spaces where the glue is not so much what is produced, but how it is produced and how the space is used consequently. It is a dynamic relationship with the word autonomy, that is, I give myself the rules, that increases the conscious ability to think about spaces in a flexible and perhaps even in a creative way. The spaces that already exist, as they are, because it is with this that we must confront, and which can be a good field. It can be a good field of research for those who want to practice, in every sense, social geography. How the two great late 19th century anarchist geographers, Piotr Kropotkin and, above all, Élisée Reclus, had practiced it, not only theorized it.